Well, hello friends and neighbors. John, your whiskey neighbor here. Welcome to, actually it's gotten a little nicer by the time I got this all set up, but it's an early fall day. Made me think of Scotch, made me think of maybe something a little bit from Islay, something peated. So today we are going to look at an easy expression to find. This is Bowmore 12-year-old. Well, thanks for staying with me through the break there. As I said, you know, this is a very, I think, easy to find Islay Scotch. Bowmore actually has a really, excellent history, right? Bowmore has been around on the island of Islay for a long time. I don't remember the dates. I mean, here they say 1779, but they have, and what's kind of neat on the bottle when it says number 1 vault, they have a warehouse, number 1 vault, where they store their age, their Scotch, and it's been there. I think they say it's the longest or oldest structure aging whiskey on Islay, something like that. They also have some other really cool things. You know, Bowmore do some of their own floor malting, so they still have barley, spread it out, you know, wet it down, let it germinate, toss it around, and then dry it out on Islay using heat, some of which is from peat. So I just think they've got just a ton of history going, and I will say to a lot of my fellow YouTube out there, YouTubers, that I think Bowmore has been beat up a lot lately, and so this review is really my taste. I think it's the last 12-year-old bottle that I have open on the shelf, so I might link it to my 12-year-old review, although I didn't bring out my Glenfiddich 12. I should have, just to compare it, but I thought I'd better talk about it again before this bottle disappears. It's actually not that old, but I've gone through it fairly quickly. So, you know, this is only 40%. Does carry the age stamp 12 years. Because it's a single malt, if you're new to whiskey, it does mean that it's single, so it's from a single distillery, Bowmore, and it's a malt, so it's 100% barley. It doesn't say on here in Canada, but I'm pretty sure that sadly this is colored. And coming out at 40%, I'd also say it's likely chill filtered. So I just want to share a little bit. You know, what do I get when I go to this whiskey? When I smell it and taste it, let's see if you get some of the same things. I found Bowmore. I actually catch a wisp of smoke. Now I'm outside, so it's not as strong as if I'm inside, but I catch smoke very quickly on the nose. And from there, you know, I go into a sweetness, a honeyed sweetness, with a little bit of tart, something lemon, really. So really, not a wide range on the nose, but gentle, welcoming, and smoke more than earthy or ashy peat. The peat for Bowmore, for me, on the 12-year-old really comes up as a quick kind of wispy, smoky, and then that sweet, light malt. You know, that light sugar and a hint of the tart, which today, right now, for me is a little bit kind of like a light lemon. Yeah, I'm pretty good with that. Let's see how it tastes. Cheers. Flavor profile really isn't that far from the nose. I think you get the, you know, maltiness that you get in Scotch with a little bit of extra sugar, and again that smokiness is quite present. It's not overpowering. This isn't an Islay monster by any means. A little more earthy there, a little more cooked something. I better take another sip. Yeah, there it is. So a little more pleasant wood nature to it. I don't find it very coating. It's pretty simple in the mouth, really. It just kind of stays close to that malty, and a little hint of some wood spice on the edges. Pick up, not spicy, but there it is. I can get that. The finish, a little earthy, a little smoky. So I found Bowmore not terribly complex. I actually find it fairly approachable for an Islay whiskey for sure. Not well. Okay, now there's a little more peat in there, a little bit of earth quality, and a little bit of ash and smoke, a little bit of campfire. Okay, so it comes, I guess, in the later finish, or maybe if you're drinking more of it through the night. But I actually find it's a gentle, mostly smoky, a little bit malty Scotch. I kind of struggle with finding a different way to describe it. So not very complex, but also quite enjoyable. And why this bottle I think went through pretty quick was because also easy for me to try. I'd never tried a ginger ale and a smoked Scotch before. I can't remember what the name of that is, but was it New Dram Drinker? I can't remember who suggested that cocktail, and I thought, I should try that. I like ginger and I like smoky Scotches. No problem going to Bowmore because I knew it would add that smoke characteristic. There was a Canadian that I wasn't really super happy with, and I remember thinking, boy, it's got nothing but mouthfeel. Like it was coating and oily and all that, but just didn't have any character. Add a bit of Bowmore to it, and I really liked it. So I've actually made use of this Scotch to add a lot of that smoky character. I don't want to overdo it, but when I think of peat, I found Bowmore peat to be really close to that light smoked nature, and I think it adds it well to a lot of different custom blends or things you might be trying. So that's how I've used it, and actually ended up going through it pretty quick. And I have to say, in my area, like it's in Canada here, the store down the street carries it at $40 regular on the shelf. And so, a 12-year-old drinks well Islay Scotch for that kind of price makes it something that I can recommend. Critically, even, whenever I'm struggling for flavors, I think that's when critically it probably sits at a 3, maybe a 3.5 star, and I'm sorry for that, but it really, for me, is not very complicated and doesn't have a lot of flavors that I'm fishing around for. But the flavors that I get, good malt, nice smoke, little lemon, I think come up well, and I'm happy to have it on the shelf. And for that kind of price, I'm not going to run out and buy it. It's not an always stock, but I'll have no problem buying it again and enjoying it when I do. So that's my first thoughts. Probably the last 12-year-old. I should have tried it against the Glenfiddich to make it true to this series. But from here on, I think I'll move possibly into more peated Scotches. But certainly, I've got a few open 15-year-olds, and I think that's where I'm going to go next. So thanks for joining me here outside. And what became a much nicer day. It was kind of cool and a little bit snarly this morning. And I thought, that's great. It's nice to shoot something smoky. By the time I got a few things done and got out the deck, it's actually a gorgeous day. Hope you guys are enjoying the weekend. Cheers.